In this video, I'm going to show you this spreadsheet that you see on the screen, which is a price calculator spreadsheet. This spreadsheet, based on the cost of the goods you're going to sell, can easily calculate the selling price. We're going to use it in the example of this video, sneakers. So, let's assume why you work with buying sneakers and reselling them. You pay, for example, $80 for this product, and you want to know how much you need to sell it for to make a certain profit. This spreadsheet will do exactly that, and keep in mind that this spreadsheet can also be used to calculate unknown costs. So, in this example, the sneakers already have a known cost. You already know how much you paid for each sneaker, but some other products, such as cakes, pizzas, etc., they are made up of several products. So, in this case, you would need to switch over to the spreadsheet and register all the materials you would use beforehand. To place, the quantity of each of these materials that will be in your EA Planilha product is included in the sales price, in the same way. But in this case, we're going to use the concept of reselling items to make it a bit easier to understand. And in this case, our example will be sneakers. We're simulating that we bought a pair of sneakers for $80. And we want to sell it with a profit margin on the selling price, with a 20% profit margin. But it's not as simple as it might seem, because if you buy sneakers and resell them, you probably have a store. And that store, you're going to have rent, and then you'll have employees, and when you sell, there will be taxes, credit card machine fees, and a lot of other expenses. Those other costs need to be factored into your price. It's not just about taking the purchase price, multiplying it by some magic number you found online, and arriving at the selling price. This doesn't exist because when you multiply a percentage by a value. This percentage represents a reality of costs that aren't directly tied to the product, which won't reflect your actual situation. So, that's why you need a spreadsheet like this. But how do I go about passing those costs onto the price? I don't know Excel. I don't know how to price things. No problem, the spreadsheet knows how to do that, and it does it for you. So, look, there's a tab here for fixed costs. Here, you will need to fill in all the fixed costs of your business. What defines a fixed cost? A fixed cost is one that, whether you sell one pair of sneakers, 1,000 pairs, 10,000 pairs, or no pairs at all, will remain the same. So, it's a fixed cost. I'm talking about the rent for your space. I'm talking about the amount you pay for internet. I'm talking about the amount you pay for costs, for salaries. So, all these costs are fixed. You're going to enter all of them, putting the name in the first column, the monthly amount in the second column, and after filling them all out, there's another field you need to fill in, which is your monthly revenue. How much do you sell in a month? Because, based on that amount, I'm going to find a percentage of how much fixed costs represent in your business to factor that into the price. And you protect your profit later. We also have variable costs here, which are different from fixed costs. They vary depending on whether you make a sale, but there's a trick here. This variable means that it varies by percentage. In other words, if you make a sale, the amount will vary by 3% because it will always be 3% of the sale value. So it has to be a percentage based on the sale price. I'm talking about taxes, commissions for salespeople. I'm talking about transaction fees. Everything that has a percentage you lose from each sale you make has to be included here, and you might be thinking, I have a variable cost, because with every sale I make, there's this cost, but it's in cash value. For example, I have sneakers. I have sneakers that I'm going to sell. And with every sale I make, I include a bag, I include a custom packaging. And that amount varies because it will only show up in a new sale. And it's in cash. How do I account for that? If this tab only has the percentages, you account for it in the cost of the goods. So, if you paid $80 for the cost from your supplier for those sneakers, and you have a packaging cost of $3, you're going to put here as the cost of the goods, $83. Why? Because there's the sneakers and there's the packaging. There's the sneakers and there's the packaging. So, when it's a cost, and dollar value included in the product composition, and when it's a percentage, put it here in the variable costs. Once that's done, we're ready to calculate the selling price. So you come here to the tab for price with known cost, remembering that price with unknown cost is that other tab I showed you. When you create your product from various materials, price with the known cost, and you're going to enter the name of the product as well as its cost. Total cost that it cost you. So in this case, I'm putting in $83. Plus, you're going to be the desired margin, what the desired margin is for every $1,000 you sell. You're gonna take it. This percentage that you enter will be multiplied by the $1,000, and that will be your profit. With a 20% margin on $100, profit $20. This is, if I'm setting a margin of 20% for every $100 I sell, I end up with a profit of $20 after paying everything, because your price will be calculated to ensure that for you. So, when you enter just these two pieces of information automatically, the spreadsheet tells me that I need to sell these sneakers for $142 because I paid $83 for them. I have a whole calculation that's necessary to get to $142. And how do I know that this really has to be the price? How do I know that some of it is going to variable costs and fixed costs and everything else over here on the side? I have a whole report that brings this information to you. We start from the selling price of $142, those variable cost sales. I did the transaction. I did it by card, commissions. Each of them is going to take a little bit of that amount, just a little bit, you know? According to the percentage you registered, that percentage for each of the fees will show up here, and before that, the amount it represents in dollars will be displayed. According to the percentage you registered, that percentage for each of the fees will show up here, and before that, it will be displayed. The amount that this represents in dollars. The total variable costs in this example are $15.63, and the fixed costs for this sale are $15.04. Because this amount is 10 points, 6% of the sale amount. Remember that your total fixed cost represents 10.6% of your revenue. So, in every sale you make, you set aside 10.6% so that when you hit 60,000, 10.6% of 60,000 will be the 6,350 in fixed costs, which is what you'll have, quote unquote, saved up. And then you'll be able to pay that fixed cost without impacting your profitability. The cost of the product is $83. And then you'll be able to cover that fixed cost without affecting your profitability. The cost of the product is $83, as we had seen. That gives you a total cost of $113. So, you're selling it for $142, and what's your cost? $113 leaves you gain $28. $28 is exactly 20% of the sale amount. So, you already know, even before selling, what your profit margin will be. If I change any value here, whether it's the margin, the product cost, or fixed or variable costs, my selling price is going to change. For example, I'm adjusting the margin from 20 to 25%, so my selling price goes up to $155. So, it's, in a very simple, straightforward, and secure way that this price calculator spreadsheet will calculate the selling price for you. You might be thinking, wow, but I have a lot of products in my business. I don't just sell sneakers, I sell various products. You can do this bulk pricing. If that scared you, you have to do it one by one. So there's a tab here for bulk pricing. You come here and put all the product names you have in the first column. So I put in t-shirts, I put in sneakers. You can add a description if you want, and then put the cost of that product that you incurred, following the same concept. There we saw, and finally, the margin. In each line, you'll see the pricing we talked about earlier. So, for example, here, in the case of the sneakers, it was $83, my cost, and we priced it with a 25% margin, which is what you remember I changed. The same pricing of $155 that we found earlier. You'll find it here. Here it shows you the selling price, how much fixed and variable cost margin you'll have, so for each line you fill out. You can add a product with a limit of up to 50 products, and you can find out the selling price in bulk. So, what's up? If you change any information, if you change any fixed or variable costs, it will automatically adjust. The spreadsheet will already take that into account. So, as I mentioned, this is an extremely robust spreadsheet that will work as a pricing calculator for you. If you're interested in this material, don't miss the chance to get it through the link in the video description. This spreadsheet will bring security, peace of mind, and profitability to your business, because it calculates the selling price in a very secure way. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't miss the chance to get this robust material. We'll see each other around, and take care.